So yeah, I was actually kind of wondering, hey, wait a sec, is that Dwayne Johnson? Right, so everyone is well, or should be up to date with computer game series and toys. So today we're going to be looking at the most epic Doomslayer figure from McFarlane. I'm quite looking forward to this guy. In fact, I'm that excited about opening this guy. I ain't just got one, I've got two. That's right, in this video we're going to be looking at the Doomslayer, normal Doom guy. I'm going to be looking at the Doomslayer Bronze Edition. Right, so I'm mega excited about this. So basically these guys are from the McFarlane toy range. They boast 22 points of articulation and they're from, well, it says this is not a toy, these are 14 years plus. I've seen toys that are a lot more sort of nasty looking, but we'll get a look at that in a sec. Right, so up on the front of the box you'll see you've got a nice window sort of display there that sees everything that the figure does come with. The back there you can see a stand. We've got some gnarly sort of knife, the Ultimate Slayer shotgun and the Doom guy. On the side of the box we've got the McFarlane logo, Doom and a nice shot of the figure. The back we've got some gnarly little art of this guy ready to kick out of something, and at the side again the Doom Slayer. Right, bottom just some crap no one cares about, and the top another little picture of the guy. Put him to one side. Now we go to the Doomslayer Bronze Edition, which basically is just exactly the same as the other, but it is just the Doomslayer guy. Doesn't come with no new accessories or anything, just this funky looking nice repaint. Right, so bang, now that's out of the way, let's have a look at them, get them out of the box and see what's going on with these two gnarly figures. Right, so the first thing you're going to notice about these two characters is I've already took them out of the box, and there was a very good reason for that. The reason why I've took them out of the box is because the actual clamshell or backing protective sort of plastic seal that they're already encased in is incredibly hard to remove the character from it, and I did struggle a bit. The bits that you've got to be careful of is you have an elastic band around this gun, and even though it is fully articulated, it is a swine, and I was worried about breaking both of these models, so I took them out before I did the review. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to move the camera slightly out, and the first thing we're going to have a look at is the weaponry that the Doomslayer actually comes with. We're going to take a closer look at that. Right, so this is the actual shotgun that you get with the actual Doomslayer, and you can see it is a absolutely fantastic mold. Bit of double barrel shotgun action with some nice spiky grabber thing as well, as shown by Mr. Bronze Edition Doom guy here. He does actually hold his weapon extremely well, and there is no bits of nothing. I mean, once that weapon's in there, it's in there. It ain't coming out. Right, that's it. It's fantastic for display purposes, and as you can see, that is a pretty solid mold and quite game accurate. So that is absolutely fantastic. The second piece of equipment that you get is this actual Doom knife, blade, whatever you want to call it. As you can see, very nicely molded, sculpted, fantastic. And again, posed by Mr. Doomslayer Bronze guy, attaches to the arm. This little tiny sort of socket underneath there, which will attach via this tiny little clip here that you can see. And I'll show you how to do that in a bit. And yeah, once it's in there, it's in there. It ain't coming out. There's no looseness to this figure at all. He also comes with his very own official Doom stand, which is just your basic box standard bit of plastic, boop, with a little tab on the thing there. He's got 2 points of holes in his bottom of his feet where you can attach the pedal stem, because quite a few of these models have only got one feety hole, so there's not much room for posability or anything like that. And as you can see by Mr. Bronze Doom guy here, pretty solid and ain't gonna fall. Not like Mr. Doomslayer here, who's probably had a bit too much demon slaying on the go. Right, so let's get down to the figure itself. We're going to go through this guy here, then I'm going to talk slightly about the repainted model. So as you can see, paint-wise and paint sculpt details, he is actually quite fantastic. This black sort of glazed sort of shiny visor that he's got going on, which adds really a lot of depth to the model, I think, and it's quite enjoyable, down to all the delicate little details of rust that you can see around the actual sculpt of the chest plate and leg pads. And he has got this dirty, really nice dry brushed rust effect down his shin guards and boots, and also on his arms as well, which is fantastic. Gives a lot of depth and character realization to the model. Right now, this particular guy, he does boast 22 moving parts and articulation, and I can quite well agree with that, as opposed to he's got the ball jointed socket on the back with his gun, which is fully rotatable, which leads to the actual gun itself on a pivot which will go left to right, as you can see. So that is quite cool on its own. He has got these little shoulder guards which can move up and down to give the character more range with the posability aspect. We can do the other one as well. Whoop! Right, the helmet and head itself is on a ball joint, so he has got quite limited sort of range with the actual back collar he's got on, so he can't, even though he can look up, you've sort of got to pull the head out to make him look up, which will expose the little ball joint in the base of his fucking head. But then who really cares, because it's Doom Guy. So we're just going to push that back in and put it in place. Right, now the only, I don't want to say bad thing about the actual character is the leg articulation. So he has got some pivot in his feet, but as you can tell, not a fat lot of range. The knees, we're on that very tight ratchet. Don't know if you heard that, but that is as far as it's gonna get. No real goodness on that. And leg articulation, you can get a bit of a kick, but not that much. You can do a bit of a sideward kick, but again, not that much, because you are, if I can get that out, limited by this little pad here, which is kicking out, even though it is on some flimsy plastic. As for back leg articulation, there's practically none at all. Right, so waist articulation, he can look slightly left, he can move slightly right, due to the ball joint he has actually got in his pelvis and in his higher waist section, which has got a movement of backwards and forwards. Arm articulation at the socket can move up, but that's all you're gonna get. Has got a swivel, which is fantastic, but not a fat great deal. Wrist action can move up, well, elbow action can move up, can move down, but really limited. And you have got some wrist articulation, but again, not a fat lot. But then what you actually doing with a model like this is actually paying for the actual sculpt and detailing, I think. I mean, that's why I bought it. I mean, Doom is one of my favourite franchises of all time, and this is actually going to be displayed upstairs in the cabinet. Right, so then I'll show you how to attach the actual weapons on the actual Doom guy. So as we talked about earlier on, he has actually got that pivot, that socket in the actual knife. If you look under the left, you will see he has got a slight, tiny sort of socket in his, I don't know what you call that, gauntlet, in his gauntlet guard. So what you do is just get that in with relative ease, just pop it in. I say relative ease, if I can just find the, that's it, and just, no it's not. Jesus Christ, it's much, you know, this stuff is much easier when you do it. There you go. Off camera, with that guy, that went in without a shadow of any sort of hassle at all. And there you go. That's how you attach that, and as you can see, once it's in, it is actually quite a solid joint. And I tell you what, I might keep that like that, just posing. Ah, freedom! And with the gun itself, as you can tell, he has got like a trigger finger hand here, and it's just a case of being very gentle when you actually pop this in, because you don't want to damage the fingers or anything. And there you go. And you can see he's got quite a nice hold on that. And once it's in, it's in. Right, so what else can we talk about this model? Apart from that, the paint is absolutely fantastic on it. The range of movement isn't that great, but it is faithful to the game model itself. So I actually, as an actual toy, I wouldn't say it's a toy. It ain't like your Fortnite toys. It's not like Transformers or anything like that. But failing that, that is actually quite a hefty, good looking piece of kit, and it's going upstairs with the rest of the toys themselves. Put him on his stand in his new battle pose. Job's good, right? You stand back there and look all pretty. And he's not going to. I've just bigged you up about your posability and your range and your sturdiness, and you're going to fall. No, you're not. Right, stand there and celebrate. And now we're going to look at the repaint, which is the Doomslayer Bronze Edition. Now, there's pretty much not a lot to say about this actual character, even though it's the same character but just in a repainted version. He has got more of a predator-esque look about him, as he is completely caked in this lovely dirty bronze sort of sculpting with the black sort of intricate detail, which seems to be his black visor and this sort of really brown dirtyish sort of markings where the rest of the arm plating should be. As you can see on the back of the model, which we didn't quite discuss about that, we have got some more sculpting detail as in the actual packs, the back plate and everything else. He has actually got the wash on this to bring out the detail is fantastic. You've got a beautiful wash on it, which gives it quite a lot of depth and quite a lot of awesomeness. He has actually got the same amount of posability as this guy. So yeah, apart from being a different colour, as you can quite clearly tell, both of them side by side, they are actually the same piece. The better model, in my opinion, I would have to go for